If women, Democratic women, just show up and vote, we're good. We don't need any of the men.
You had an empty shell of a demented man who implemented tons of radical BS, and now you're paying the price. I don't sympathize.
You've made that clear in every segment. For years, we've heard rumors that Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, could be your half-brother. What do you think of that?
The only thing I can say is that his mother used to visit the country very often.
And good morning. It's 8:07 on News Talk 1079. Do we even need the DNA test now after hearing that answer from Fidel Castro's daughter? Is Justin Trudeau your half-brother? Well, all I know is his mom used to visit Cuba a lot, and he looks just like my dad. And yeah, he is a Castro, but I think Castro is spelled with an EAU at the end, just to make it Canadian at least. But at any rate, welcome everyone. It is Friday, and we love Fridays around here. We kind of loosen things up just a little bit. We'll have although we're going to have a patriotic themed Studio 4 cover for you coming up here in about a half an hour. Jason Franklin is going to perform the fourth verse of the National Anthem for us today. And if you have not heard the fourth verse, you are going to love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the first verse. It's beautiful. But have you read the fourth verse? It's just amazing. Also, as we are celebrating this year, 250 years here in America, I've set something up, and we are going to roll it out in, it's actually active right now, but I did a little bit of testing. May have a problem on some iPhones, so we're not going to launch it quite yet today. But we are going to actively invite our listeners to submit their greeting, their happy birthday wishes to America, how they feel about America, and you'll all be able to do it online. There's nothing hard about it at all. We'll give you the website. You go there, you record either audio or video. We love it if you'd record video so we can use it on social media. But either way, if you don't want to be on camera, I get that. And we're just going to keep a collection of our listeners' greetings and well wishes. That's not really quite the right term, but their thoughts and their adoration for this great country, the greatest ever to grace the planet Earth. And it's interesting to me as we see the stories of these musical performers. Keep in mind that hitting 250 years is a big deal. It's a quarter of a millennium that our country has survived. At times we have thrived, and it's amazing to reach a quarter of a millennium. No matter in what shape you are, if you get to that point, and your country has survived that long, and not just your country, with its borders, and I know, it's changed over time, but if you've gotten there and freedoms are still largely intact, that's a remarkable feat. And I just want to congratulate America as we're now just a little over a month away from that moment, that grand signing where we declared our independence. I call it the middle finger to Great Britain. And it started something that I believe, and I deeply believe this, that it wasn't by accident. It wasn't just another historic occurrence that America came along. I believe that the creation of America was through divine providence, that God wanted America to happen for the betterment of mankind on this planet Earth. And when you stop and you do an honest assessment of how the United States of America has shaped the world for the better, the amount of prosperity that it has brought to the nation, the amount of freedom, the models for governance that it has spread around. And you know what? I hear this right now. There's these little parts of my brain that anticipate what the leftists and the cynics will be saying about what about slavery and what about the ravages of capitalism and climate change. And there are even lefties that people on the far right that believe that we have lost our country and that it's not a great country anymore and that we live in a police state, or at least, something akin to it. I'm not even going to go there. This is a great country. It's a beautiful country. It's a powerful country. And it's not perfect because guess what? Nothing is. But we are an amazing, resilient nation. And are there threats to it? Yep. And I think we even have some existential threats that we have to address and continue to fight. I think the things that are our biggest threats are within. I don't think it's China or Russia or North Korea. I don't think that it's, some external force that can destroy our country as much as it is forces within. And that's honestly, I'll be honest with you, straightforward and candid. It's one of the big reasons why I come to this microphone every day. And as I have said before, I believe that our battles are shifting in politics to be less about politics and more spiritual in nature. That the lines between Caesar and God are murkier than they have ever been in some ways. And I'm referencing Christ's quote about rendering unto Caesar that which is Caesar's and unto God. That's a binary observation and decision. I don't know that that's the case anymore. I think many of the battles that we're fighting, specifically the cultural battles that we fight in our country today, have massive spiritual components to them, even though they spill over into the political and the secular space. So I don't know what the future holds. I know it's amazing, and I'm thrilled, and I'm excited, and I'm happy, and I'm just trying to enjoy the time that we have this year to observe that we have reached a quarter of a millennium for this great country. One last thing, I didn't even expect to go off on this tangent in the monologue today, but it has conjured up a memory of mine. And I remember when I was a teenager and growing up a Mormon kid in rural Idaho and whatever, I looked forward to going on a mission. And I was pretty political, even at quite a young age. And I remember thinking, I want to go to Washington, D.C., because it's the nation's capital. I had been there a couple of times traveling with my family back east, and government always intrigued me. And this is a perfect example in my experience of how God knows what you need more than you do. Because all that time I'm like, yeah, I want to go to D.C. And we didn't use words back then like I'm manifesting this or I'm whatever. It's just like I imagined if I was going to spend 2 years of my life doing something, then D.C. would be a great place to do it. But when that mission call arrived, and back then it was a big yellow, today it's an email, back then it was a big white envelope, and I opened it up, and that's the first thing that you'd look to. Where am I going? And it said the Pennsylvania-Philadelphia mission. And in that moment, I realized, whoa, that is where it all began. That is where the Declaration was signed. That's where the founders argued passionately to finally arrive at the Constitution that we have today. And I was blessed to go back and serve in and around Philadelphia. The final area where I did my missionary service was actually in Valley Forge. Spent probably 4 months there. And I remember that we would go to that. It looks like a park, but it's more than a park. It's protected by the National Park Service, and it's maintained there. But it was hallowed ground, really. And you would go there, and you'd learn some of the history of Valley Forge. Never a battle fought there, but it was a winter encampment where the Revolutionary soldiers got ready to fight the important battle that won ultimately our independence from Great Britain. And knowing that history and knowing some of the miracles that happened there, you felt like you were walking on hallowed soil. And there was almost a reverence there. And it was a unique experience. And it's just become part of my heart and soul. And one of my, I have two of these, by the way. The paintings of George Washington's prayer at Valley Forge. Very, very famous painting. Many of you probably have the same one in your home. And I think about that a lot. I think about why we're here today. Why do we wake up every morning in a free state, in a free country, and have the opportunities that we do? And honestly, it's because we have that wired in us from God to be free. It's not, rights are not something that a government bestows upon you or grants you. It isn't theirs to do that. All of that comes from God. And the best approach any government can have is just simply to recognize and protect the rights that we inherently have been gifted to us from our Creator. And I think about it probably every day, close every day. If we don't have that, if we don't have these choices, our agency, our freedom, our liberty to pursue the good prosperity, the happiness that we have in our lives, we don't have a lot. And it's important that we continue to fight and to preserve it, and it's got to be rooted in reality. So, having said that, again, my hope was to roll it out today. You know what? I still could. Just know if you have an iPhone, you might get an error, but that doesn't mean you haven't sent in your greeting. But it's live on our website right now at newstalk1079.com. Just there's a big graphic that says record your America 250 greeting. By the way, all of these will be vetted. So if you send in something that is, profane or childish or a prank, it's never going to see the light of day. We will listen to, vet, and examine each one of these. You can also text the word greeting to 208-542-1079. Take a few seconds, maybe up to 30 seconds or so, and share that. If it's more than that, it's probably going to get edited down. So maybe think about it, what you want to say before you say it. Anything that goes on for a couple of minutes, we're probably not going to use. These are meant to just be concise, 3-4 sentences about what America means to you. So again, you can text greeting to 208-542-1079. You can also go online, and there's a big graphic at newstalk1079.com. And you can do it from your desktop or your mobile. Again, it works fine on an Android. If you use an iPhone, there's a chance you might get an error, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we haven't gotten the media. I just got to track down that bug and see why it's doing that. But we'd love to start getting your greetings, and we'll use them. We'll use them on air. We'll use them perhaps in social media. And we'll use them as we here at News Talk 1079 look forward to this year-long commemoration and to help you be a part of it as well as we strive to be a part of it. It's 8:22 now on News Talk 1079. We're going to break and we'll come back. It's Friday. We'll open up the phone lines. Heck, we might even have a flash poll for you a little bit later. And we've got a lot of audio that we want to share with you as well as we go through this midterm year. Some interesting cultural stuff to share. It's all ahead on News Talk 1079. All right, 8:27 on News Talk 1079. Neal Larson along with Julie Mason, and we're about 10 minutes away from our Studio 4 cover. Jason Franklin getting set to sing for us the fourth verse of the National Anthem. And we're going to also talk about an effort called We Shall Stand as part of all of this. So we'll have a guest on along with our performer this morning. So
Ryan Lloyd will be joining us. He's going to fill us in on his efforts to just celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence.
Julie, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone sent a text in, not to be negative here, but they don't like Trump. Clearly, they don't like Trump.
Okay.
But my question is, are you going to? They said I expect performers to take heat. Trump just doesn't get that. I don't know what they're saying. That put his name in everything, and bad-mouthing people on social media doesn't appear very presidential, even to those of us that voted for him in the past and aren't looking for a redo. So are you going to let your distaste for Donald Trump ruin the time we have to observe and commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America?
Well, obviously I'm not. And I would just say to them what I have said to these people before. You're the one that's giving him this much room in your head.
Yeah.
Stop. There's lots of other things to do in life, but pay attention to Donald Trump.
You have elevated your Trump anger above your love for the United States of America. That's not a good place to be in. I don't say that as mockery, criticism, ridicule.
Mm-hmm.
I say that as a friend saying, knock that off, because Trump's a looming figure in politics right now, but America is America, and we're at 250 years. This is a time to enjoy it, and he is the president of the United States. So, of course, he's going to get involved. And I will also say this. I think he's doing a fantastic job of initiating and having the ball rolling on this America 250 thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's great that we're spending an entire year observing and talking about it. And I think what he's done is exactly what a president should do. Yeah, he tweets things that aren't great, and he says things that aren't all historically, at least, presidential. But I think overall, he's doing this part of his job very, very well in terms of getting America to pay close attention to the fact that we're at a quarter millennium here.
Yeah. Also, okay, just like in this celebration to going to the company Christmas party.
Yeah.
I doubt you love absolutely everything about the company Christmas party. There might be someone there who's like, I hate karaoke and I can't stand it that we do this every time.
I could do without the interpretive dance part of it.
Or they'll be like, why do they always have it catered by that restaurant? I can't stand that restaurant.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the rest of the party's not going to be fun.
You ruined Jesus. Yeah, right.
Like, this is a 250th celebration with so many different things. We got the UFC fights. We've got the big celebration with the musical artists. There's other things that he's done. He's cleaned up the Washington Mall. Like, there's been a whole bunch centered around it. Find the things you enjoy and participate in those things. And if you don't like something else, just don't be part of it.
Right. Move on to something else. Yeah.
It's really simple.
It is, but I think they allow themselves to be consumed by it. And it really is kind of a Trump derangement thing.
Yeah.
Kind of sad.
It is kind of sad because we live in a really amazing place.
Yeah, we really do. All right. Should we take a break?
Sure.
When we come back, Jason Franklin will perform for us. We'll also have Ryan Lloyd on, same time, to talk about We Shall Stand. And we'll let him explain what all of that is about. It's all coming up on News Talk 107.9. Okay. Ryan, can you hear us okay?
I can.
Okay. Well, great. We're set up here. We got a few minutes. Jason's here with us, so we're doing. Do you need a starting note? Like, how are you gonna?
No, I think I'm just gonna go for it.
You got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's impressive.
We'll see how it goes.
You sing a lot, like around.
Not publicly.
Oh,
I just
gotcha.
Yeah.
Him in the shower, though.
In the shower.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
The shower and at church mostly.
Okay, that's great. Okay. All right, guys, about 20 seconds. Here we go. Stand by.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, it's Brad from Now 105.1 and QP99. I'm in the studio here. I love our studios, by the way. Ranger Rick back there. There's Neal and Julie doing their thing. Hey, when you want to advertise on the radio, what do? You call the radio station, right? But what do you do when you want to advertise on Facebook and Instagram and Hulu and Disney Plus and Peacock and the other TV streaming services? You can kind of click around on them and make guesses or read books or take courses online on how to do that advertising. Or you could call us at the radio station. At Sandhill Media, we take care of your local radio and digital marketing. So reach out to us at sandhillmediagroup.com and we'll make sure that your message gets heard and seen wherever your customers are.
Don't wait. Get into Steel Gun and Pawn, Jefferson Golf Course, Main Street Cafe, Sweet Tooth Sip and Scoop, and the Silver Sage Bar and Grill to purchase your raffle tickets today.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton here. Join us weekdays 10 to 1 only on News Talk 107.9. Stimulating talk for East Idaho.
And we're back. It's 8:37 now on News Talk 107.9. Neal Larson along with Julie Mason. And we're pleased to be joined in studio this morning by Jason Franklin. Jason, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. We're doing well. We also have joining us Ryan Lloyd via Zoom. And Ryan, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so this is a unique Studio 4 cover, and we're having Jason perform this morning. He's actually going to perform the fourth verse of the National Anthem. But Ryan, you're on to tell us about this effort called We Shall Stand. So fill us in.
Yeah, so, I'm a 27-year Army veteran, and like a lot of veterans, the Star Spangled Banner is, near and dear to my heart. And having deployed to Iraq a couple times, I can tell you that I've probably been moved to tears by the National Anthem more than most adults. But there's something special about the fourth verse of the National Anthem that is not really conveyed by what we normally hear out there with, just the first verse. It talks about, the first verse talks about American resilience and, sets the tone for that Battle of Fort McHenry. And the fourth verse, though, really conveys the why behind it. So the Why We Stand project that I'm starting is to convey that really deep why, and it conveys American exceptionalism and providential support of the United States that I don't think you get from verse 1.
I think I incorrectly called it We Shall Stand, but Julie just corrected me. So it's called Why We Stand. So I apologize for getting that wrong. Ryan, how can people find out more about this and become part of this?
So I do have a Facebook page called the Why We Stand Project, and you can find it on Instagram too. We've got a link to our website from there that you can get to. And, we've started making a few little things, some T-shirts and some flags. And I hope that ultimately the goal is that we just get more people to understand and be excited about the fourth verse of the National Anthem, and that we can get kind of a momentum to include the fourth verse in a lot of our America 250 celebrations this year.
Okay. Now, Jason, let's bring you into this.
Yeah.
And how are you two connected? And just sort of, get us caught up to speed why you're here today.
Yeah, so I'm here to support the project, to support Ryan, and he approached me about this. We former coworkers out at the site doing security. Also, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so this also near and dear to my heart. I don't know why Ryan approached me to sing. I guess he maybe has heard me before, or had heard me before I even realized.
Gotcha.
And I'm here to support it, and I'm here for it. So,
and maybe Jason, talk about, the fourth verse too. You're about to sing it, and the words are truly powerful.
They really are, and that's the more I sing it, the more I go over the lyrics, the more I get familiar with them. They really are just we get so used to hearing that first verse.
Yeah,
and most people will even go, "There's a second and third verse."
Yeah,
let alone a fourth, and so it really is powerful. It's something else, and it's really special.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we do have music, but you just want to sing it a cappella this morning.
Yeah, I haven't heard the music yet, so I wasn't sure about singing to it. So I thought I'd just sing it a cappella.
Okay. Well, mic's on, and we're rolling. Go ahead and start whenever you're ready.
All right. Oh, thus be it ever, when free men shall stand between their loved homes and war's desolation, blessed with victory and peace. May the have rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must, when our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God is our trust, and the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, I hear the applause of thousands right now. Thank you so much, Jason. That was great.
Appreciate you guys having us.
Yes. All right. And again, you can find this effort online. Go to Why We Stand, and that'll just search for that on Facebook, and you can get to the website that way. Ryan, thank you again for joining us remotely this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's been great.
All right, it's 8:43 now on News Talk 107.9.
Did you miss the Neal Larson Show? Catch every episode on the News Talk 107.9 app. Grab it anytime.
Available in your app store now.
Get ready for summer with a new Hyundai SUV from Woody Smith Hyundai. Whether it's the Tucson, Santa Fe, or Palisade, you'll find the perfect ride to upgrade every road trip, weekend getaway, and daily drive. And with America's best warranty, including a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and Hyundai owner assurance, you can drive with confidence all season long. Make this your best summer yet in a new Hyundai SUV. Visit Woody Smith Hyundai today or shop online at woodysmithhyundai.com. This summer, the Art Museum of Eastern Idaho is honored to participate in the Blue Star Museums program, offering free admission to currently serving military families from May 16th through September 5th. The program reflects the museum's commitment to accessibility and community connection. Alongside initiatives like Foster the Arts and free membership for tribal members, visit theartmuseum.org to learn more about exhibitions, family activities, and summer programming.
Operation Literacy is igniting a love for reading and changing lives. They inspire a love of reading by delivering over 10,000 signed books, hand-delivered by authors to kids in underserved areas. Operation Literacy also helps teens get into writing through their Teen Author Boot Camp, or teens connect with their favorite authors, participate in writing contests, and win awards. To get involved promoting events, sponsoring book drops, organizing fundraisers, or sponsoring a team for an online writing class, visit operationliteracy.org. Operation Literacy.
East Idaho Community Emergency Response Teams are looking to train volunteers in Region 7 counties, including Bonneville, Jefferson, Madison, Teton, Fremont, Custer, and Lemhi counties. If you want to be ready to respond in a disaster or crisis, this 20-hour training is for you. Anyone interested can come and learn about general preparedness, fire safety, and search and rescue. Volunteering afterward is not mandatory, but this is a great opportunity to get involved, and you may save someone's life one day. Sign up at Eastern Idaho CERT.org.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
When the nation marks 250 years, Idaho marks it here. East Idaho's one and only official America 250 talk station.
News Talk 1079.
All right, it's 8:46 now. News Talk 1079, 208-542-1079 is the number if you'd like to join us. And a lot of great comments, by the way, Jason, if you're listening in your car as you take off. A lot of great texts coming in supporting and appreciating his rendition of the National Anthem, that fourth verse. The problem is, all four verses, it would be too long to sing that every time, but that fourth verse is probably
so good.
Some of the most moving words that you can find. So just reading them, even if you can't sing, because not everybody sings, and you could just read the verses and be benefited by it. So anyway, okay, Julie, help me with something.
I'm here.
Here we are celebrating America 250. We have a couple of people in the text line that are hell-bent on making this year a Trump gripe session rather than a quadra-sesquicentennial celebration.
There you go. My response to them always is, he's going away. Why are you letting this control your life so much?
Yeah.
He's going away. And we have if you're Republican, and you do love America, and you do love the Republican values, we've got a great future ahead of us.
Yeah.
So let him go and start enjoying Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance or Scott Bessent. You mentioned him this morning. He would be a great run for president. There is a really bright future for America. Do not let this bog you down.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, I would. Well, someone said this. He said, I agree with the texter, because I was reading, the earlier text. I'm unhappy with Trump. I'm also unhappy with Trump, and I voted for him twice. The economy is in trouble. High inflation, food prices, gas prices, everything costs more under his administration. He's more interested in policing the world than helping solve economic problems at home. I see no viable candidates in any party other than those that stand on the soapbox in the shower on the screen like me, and then they go to Washington and disappear, but they come back home super rich. Okay, I look at this, and did they think that cleaning up after the Biden administration was just going to be a walk in the park? I mean, what are they? Joe Biden left our domestic and foreign policy in shambles, and they left Iran in a position where they were going to be an existential threat to their neighbors and to our allies. It's messy. I don't know what their expectation is, that there was some clean, pleasant, and simple way to clean up after the disaster of Biden and, quite frankly, holdovers from the Obama administration.
Maybe they did. I've often wondered, too, because Trump really solved the beginning part of immigration, meaning that closing down the border, that portion. When I say he did it overnight, it literally happened overnight.
Yeah.
And I think he set a bar there for some people, and because he didn't release the Epstein files overnight, and he didn't end Ukraine and Russia overnight. And I think they've been frustrated with all of that, when in reality, each of these situations has their own individual details. And yes, all immigration needed to have done is enforcement. The laws were in place. So that was, he showed up and said, we will now enforce the law. And so it was an overnight success, but the other ones are going to take time.
Well, they are, and I think we are forgetting the massive success that we did see in his first year in terms of him ending other conflicts and bringing peace to other parts of the world that I don't think the media even took much time at all to give him credit for. Yeah. You talk about shutting down the border and implementing our immigration laws. That's been very painful, but it was the right thing to do, and it continues to be the right thing to do. Like, the law needs to matter if we want to keep our country. And so that's not always pleasant, but I saw some emotion porn story the other day. I don't know if it was the Statesman, but one of the papers had written it about how this woman now owes like over $1 million in fines because she stayed here illegally. Because ICE, with that app, said, look, you can, if you go home, you can fly home for free and we'll give you a $2,600 stipend. And you'll be eligible to come back in the right way, legally. That's a pretty darn good deal.
Yeah.
So a lot of people took advantage of that. Some did not. And those that did not have been racking up these $1,000 a day fines. Now, they don't have the money to pay that. They're never going to be able
to pay it.
They're never going to get that money, but the media is coming to the aid of these people that are out of compliance with the law. That is quite clear. And I get it. I understand people are seeking freedom. They want to be with their families. And it is a mess. There is no easy way out of this. There's no perfectly right way out of this. And so I get bothered by the media that plucks these stories that are heartbreaking, and they try to take that one story that's heartbreaking and permeate the entire issue with that emotion. Mm-hmm. It's journalistic malpractice to look at it like that. The truth is, we're either a nation of laws or we are not. The law either matters or it doesn't. And there are ways where maybe you incrementally begin to apply the law. I don't think you can just flip a switch because you could devastate your economy. You could do all sorts of things. But we have to start moving back toward the law mattering, whether it's workers in the dairy industry or whatever it is. The law has to matter.
And please understand these emotion porn pieces, which is they'll say things like, but this was a great mother who was helping in the kindergarten class and participated in PTA. And great. Just flip the script. Some dad is the Little League coach, and he is home at night, and he's paying attention to his family and whatever. But he's embezzling $2 million from his employer. Yeah. The law matters. Right. No matter if he was a good dad, he broke the law.
Yeah.
So he will serve time for breaking the law. These pieces, the person is breaking the law. I'm glad they're a good mother. I hope that those lessons they taught their children stick. You were still breaking the law.
Yeah. You know, you are, and it's... Like your embezzlement comparison is spot on. Just because you're all these great things in some parts of your life doesn't negate the fact you're breaking the law.
It doesn't. You can be the best son in the world, but if you drive drunk, you drive drunk.
Yeah.
There is a price to pay when you break the law.
Yeah. No, it's a tough thing, but I would look at it and I would say if you are just locked in on Trump's terrible and you're not going to move from that, there's not really any sense in having a conversation. But I believe if you're looking for reasons why maybe Trump's not quite as bad as you think he is, if like you would just like a good faith discussion about maybe there are two sides of the ledger here, maybe especially in his first year. The first year was his low-hanging fruit. It was going in, yeah, let's do peace deals here, 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 and here. Let's close up the border. We know how to do it, and we'll do it. And I think you went through that. And then you get to the really, really trickier stuff later, which is like making sure Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. People want this done with the same speed he sealed off the border. It's not happening because it's a trickier problem. Right. It's a tougher problem. And so I don't have a lot of patience for the people who will not look at both, like I say, both sides of the ledger here. And if they would, maybe the misery of their anger at Trump would be mitigated some. And they could go, maybe he's not as horrible as I've I've been programmed to think that he is.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because one of the downsides for the way that Trump operates is that the spotlight is always on him. He loves that, right?
Yeah.
He loves to have the spotlight on him all the time. But that means people who are frustrated with him have a lot to zero in on. We're on this week of Jill Biden saying during the debate between Joe and President Trump, she thought her husband was having a stroke. That's her new excuse for that. Yet when that debate was over, she said, "You answered every question." And she continued to let him carry out through the rest of the time without any intervention whatsoever. What that means is there was no spotlight on Joe because everyone was turning it off, right?
Yeah.
Media, Jill, everybody. And we had a whole bunch of people doing dangerous things for America, and we can't even point at them.
Yeah.
So I would challenge those people who are so mad at President Trump. You sure picked the easy target because he puts himself directly in front of you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think it's his superpower, but it's also a vulnerability that he has too.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think we might actually again, because I think he's rewriting the rules, but we've never seen a president who so easily walks up to a gaggle of reporters and just starts taking their questions without a script, without prep, without being briefed. He just has it all in his mind. And I mean, he just handles the situation very, very, not always fluidly. I don't want to say that he always speaks correctly, but he handles it with a great deal of confidence. And there's nothing that scares him. And I really appreciate that you have a president is that transparent. One of the things that the journalists have said is that most of those journalists have his phone number and they can call him.
Right. And I love the downstream effect of his transparency. We have seen since the press secretary went out, Caroline Leavitt went out for her maternity leave. We've now seen Scott Bessent, Marco Rubio, and J.D. Vance all handle a presser. And they did it fantastic, which is great job that they did. I think that's because the expectation is there from their leader. Look, I stand in front of these guys all the time. You better figure out how to do it too.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for America.
Yeah.
We didn't even know who was running the country when Biden was in office.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Yeah. I mean, I think Trump just makes everybody around him better and with those higher expectations. All right. It's 8:59. Hour 2 coming up on News Talk 107.9.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness. We will keep in mind and remember that you and I have the ability and the dignity and the right to make our own decisions and determine our own destiny.
This hour of the Neal Larson Show is brought to you by Crystal Water. The difference is clear with Crystal Water.
Your world, your country, your community, and you. Let's talk about it now on the Neal Larson Show with co-host Julie Mason.
All right, welcome back on News Talk 107.9. Neal Larson, Julie Mason. You ready for hour 2, Julie?
Let's do this.
All right. I'm trying to formulate some kind of a flash poll. I thought we had a good flash poll yesterday about rebuilding the Teton Dam, which there, at least among our audience, seems to be pretty wide support. So think of another flash poll we could do today.
Okay. I'll be thinking about it.
I also want to remind our listeners, we already have a greeting from one of our listeners.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Should we go ahead and play that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, give me a minute.
I want want everyone to know he was supposed to already have this queued up.
I was. Look, the ADHD is thick today.
But he says to me, give me a minute. Why are you so demanding?
No, it was more that frustration was not aimed at Julie. It was aimed more at the situation. But this is Tim.
Today we thank God for 250 years of freedom, faith, and perseverance. Guided by the courage and vision of our founders, America was built on the belief that our rights come from our Creator. As we honor the sacrifices of generations past, may God continue to bless and guide our nation for generations to come. Happy 250th, America.
Okay, thank you to Tim.
Well done, Tim.
That, can I just say, our very first one, we've had a bunch of test ones, but our very first official, legitimate one was perfect. About 23 seconds long, very concise, and it was perfect. And everyone can do this simply by texting greeting to 208-542-1079. We'll send you the link. You can do it right there on your phone. If you have an iPhone, I'm still working this out, you might get an error message, but that doesn't mean it didn't send. So
it's just an error in playback. It's not an error in sending. We'll still get it.
Yeah, so you can do audio or video. Think about what you want to say and what your greeting will be. We will keep a collection of these and we'll use them on air. We'll use them for promos. We'll use them in social media. And there's a disclaimer there that you consent.
You have to
have
agree
that
to that.
Yeah. So anyway, again, greeting to 208-542-1079 if you would like to participate in Greeting America. So.
Okay, I have a story.
Okay,
ready? It's
I'm
a
ready.
weird news day,
It is
but
a
I just
weird
found this on X. So, the No Kings movement announced a nationwide event set for June 14th, which is President Trump's 80th birthday. And here's a quote by from the website. The next 250 starts with us. As America approaches its anniversary, about what story we tell. We can let strongmen politics and corruption define the moment, or we can make the story of America about people coming together across race, background, identity, belief, and community to defend our rights and to build a future rooted in people's power. Oh, those are just such nice flowery words that ChatGPT wrote for them. How fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this June 14th moment is going to culminate at a 90-minute concert in New York City. It's called the Rise Up, Sing Out concert. And people like Sasha Allen, Bette Midler, Patti Smith, and Rufus Wainwright are going to perform, and Jane Fonda will be there, and Joy Reid will be there.
Oh, really?
It gets better by the minute. But the whole reason I'm telling you this story is because of the reason I found the post, which is Mary Catherine Ham wrote this. Oh, cool. Y'all are planning a big get-together for President's birthday? And they respond with, no, it's a protest. Oh, so you're going to have large crowds and they're going to gather in his name across the nation on the day of his birth? Don't say it like that. And there will be a really cool concert? Stop saying that.
That's so funny.
They're going to have an amazing birthday celebration for Trump.
Yeah. Well,
How fun.
that's
He
good.
commands them
Oh.
so much.
You know, he isn't that the honest question though to ask people that hate Trump? How much during your average day do you think about Donald Trump?
Yeah. It is just overwhelming for them. In fact, we had one of our people who texts a lot about Trump texted in.
Yeah.
And I was greeted with it this morning. And I very kindly said, you know what? Take a break.
Yeah.
Go do something this weekend that's not news related. We all need that.
Yeah.
Because that's the honest truth.
I think that is yes.
Yeah. Just if you're so overwhelmed with Trump, take a break.
Yeah.
Because the overwhelming is only hurting you.
Okay, but do they want to though?
Well, I think for the people who are showing up for this protest on Trump's 80th birthday, this is their personality at this point. So the No Kings protests are actually their personality.
So
it's like being really into pickleball or, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm really into the No Kings protests. Like it's part of their hobby.
I do CrossFit, marathons, and the No Kings protests.
I don't think a lot of these people could handle a marathon, let alone a mile.
probably true. Yeah, okay. It's interesting though, and I didn't know this when I was younger, and maybe very few people knew this. But in the age of social media, we've learned this because it's a great learning opportunity. That usually you think that that pleasure is what creates kind of a habit cycle. Like you return to things that you find pleasurable. And we talk about the dopamine hit, whatever. They have found, though, that another thing that returns you back to do something is rage. Anger will create the same kind of cycle. And at first I'm like, why would you do that? Because those are not pleasant emotions. Like you would walk away from that. You wouldn't want to be a part of that and keep going. But I think I know why. I think on a different level, that anger, that rage gives them a sense of purpose. And that purpose is what brings them back. I think one of our biggest fears in life is that we don't have a purpose, that we're meaningless, or that, that life is without purpose. But if you hate someone, if there's a villain in your life, that villain is giving you purpose. Like you're fighting the villain. You're fending off the villain.
Here I come to save the day.
Yup. That's exactly it. And so I think that they feel like that is their valiant battle. And we've talked about this phenomenon before, the climate change cult that's out there. They keep coming back to that all the time. And it's very, very prevalent among people who don't have a religious paradigm, that don't believe in Jesus or don't believe in God in some way. Maybe they're atheists, they're agnostic, they just don't have a well-defined framework for God and what the deepest purposes of life are about. And so environmentalism is an attractive option for people who are scanning their existence for some kind of a purpose. In both cases, the purpose is to save mankind. It's just we believe Jesus does it. They think the environmental movement is going to do it.
Right. Or they're no king's protest, or they're, just swap out.
Right. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Why am I craving a hot dog today? Like, this is the second time this morning I'm like, I'm going to go get a Bahama Mama after this.
You guys have no idea where he's at today. It's a weird morning.
It's a very weird morning. I have to tell you, I don't think going through elections are healthy for anybody mentally.
I don't think so either. They've become, look, we spend way too much money on them. Can you imagine if we had reallocated those funds for something that actually mattered? All that money that was spent for these elections, if we had reallocated it and it was spent for something better, if there was a cap on how much you could spend on a state legislative election, that'd be amazing. Because then that money could go to something that actually matters.
Yeah.
Not to the lies, not to the paper that went in the garbage can, not for the overwork that we placed upon our mail carriers. It could have, we do all these things that stir up all this effort and work, and all it did was create hate and division.
Well, it does create hate and division. We read, and look, some of it is in my own heart.
Oh, it came from this microphone for me.
There are people people that I'm sure are likable. I always have to take a breath sometimes for a few weeks after an election, because I genuinely reach a point where people just don't seem likable anymore. And they get locked into their tribe, their side, whatever. But to some degree, both sides are doing this. And I just, you get done with it and you're like, man, I'm glad that's over. We went through that. Millions of dollars were spent this year to get some people, certain lawmakers reelected or oust certain lawmakers. Why is the makeup of the Idaho legislature so important that millions and millions of dollars are being spent to change the landscape of the legislature? That's a very important question that everybody should be curious about. But what it leaves you, to get back to the original point, is that it leaves an awful lot of people jaded. We talked specifically about Bingham County, and that poor county is, from a relationship standpoint, it is torn to shreds.
Really fractured down there. Yeah, I also think that it leaves a lot of hollowness in people's hearts. When you battle through an elective cycle like this, and you try to help, or I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I think you feel a lot this way, that we spent all this time trying to help unveil for people where these PACs come from and what the money is about, and then you walk away and you're like, did we even do any good?
Yeah.
Did it even matter? And that's pretty empty feeling. And so I think I think other people experience that, even people who aren't on a microphone. They walk away and go, does my vote even matter? Does it even matter if I show up on a Tuesday?
You know, I think, was it Defend and Protect Idaho that spent the most?
I think so. Yeah, we went through it, but they were funded heavily by the Wayback.
The Wayback PAC, yeah, that's true. So yeah, some of this money it's in a pipeline, and it goes through different entities. But how does the guy who wrote out a $500 check for the incumbent or the challenger, or the person he likes, how does he compete against hundreds of thousands of dollars being spent by this shadowy dark money group? I don't know how you don't get through an election like this feeling like neither your vote nor your donations matter one stinking bit.
Right. David Worley was outspent by 2/3. Is that do you remember?
Yeah,
it was around that.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you fight the machine?
I don't know how you fight it. I really don't know, and I felt this way about the mayor's race in Idaho Falls, because we had a lot of external augmentation. We'll just use that, whether it's endorsements or
people who didn't even live in the city limits.
That we don't know where all that money came from, but a lot was spent, and you leave that. And I say this with I don't cast any sort of dark cloud over Mayor Burtonshaw, because
I think our
like
city's
her.
in good hands.
Yes, I do too. I think she's doing fine as mayor. I think she's off to a pretty good start, and I think she'll be fine. But when you go through an election like that, they pulled out all the stops to get her elected with a whole bunch of outside help, whether it's money or endorsements. And so you wonder, what kind of an obligation structure does that create? To what degree do the residents of Idaho Falls who are voting, does their vote matter when there's that much money being thrown into a race, when there's that much influence from the outside? These are not people who live in East Idaho, or certainly not in Idaho Falls, that are putting their finger on the scales, whether it's their political influence or their checkbook. And you wonder why. Why are they investing that much, either political capital or real treasure, to influence the outcome of a mayor's race? And then you pair that with some of the same exact kinds of behaviors in our local legislative races, and it does leave you wondering, number one, what in the world is going on? And then number two, you're just jaded by it. You're just cynical, and you're like, maybe, you know what, if I consult my more cynical self, there is that part of you that says, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe we don't matter. I mean, they want our vote, but they go to great lengths to deceive and distract in order to get those votes.
And I do believe that there is damage that is done to people individually that we can't overlook. We were chatting with someone, and they looked at us and said, am I a conservative? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's how molested the word has become.
Yeah.
In these legislative races. So, I mean, I imagine that person doesn't stand alone in that feeling. They're just like, I don't even know what to believe anymore, and I just don't matter.
Yeah.
That's pretty damaging.
I mean, I don't want us to give that impression, but I understand why people.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
And you know, it really is kind of a house of mirrors when you stop and think about it, because you and I probably by some would be considered. I heard secondhand. The particulars don't really matter, but they said, "Oh wow, Neal is so conservative. He's so far right," and I'm like, I am what I have always been.
Yeah. Did you shift?
My my politics, if anything, may have moderated just a little bit. Like I feel like there are certain things that are like I've changed from just this clinging to a conservative outcome all the time to saying politics is the art of the possible. Sometimes you don't get everything. And people would say that's moderating your position. I would just say, no, that's being effective. But whatever. I haven't shifted, but everything around the idea of a traditional conservative has shifted. You have people, they don't want to talk about a bathroom issue. They don't want to talk about porn in libraries. They don't want to talk about abortion. They don't want all of those things.
It's uncomfortable for them because their good friend has a gay son, and somehow that means I'm not on board. And it means we're protecting kids. You need to learn to identify the lines that need to be drawn. Yeah, and the positions that I don't feel like you and I are identical politically, Julie, but I think we're really close on most issues. The positions that we hold today and have held consistently for years, a few years ago were just mainstream conservatism. But everything around us shifted to the left. So when everything around you shifts to the left, then that mainstream conservative suddenly starts to look like a far-right conservative, even though they haven't shifted. And so you have to account for that. And I don't care what I'm labeled. Like I believe what I believe, and if someone who has, some level of influence says, "Oh, you're too far right," I don't care that you think that. That's perfectly your prerogative to think whatever you'd like to think. But borders matter today as much as they mattered 20 years ago. Yeah. The life of a baby is just as important today as it was for time immemorial. Men shouldn't go into bathrooms with little girls today in the same way they shouldn't have ever. So I just because the whole culture has shifted around the handful of people who hold to those values doesn't mean we're the far right ones. It means you've shifted to the left. And I would say 3 decades ago, you could be in those exact positions, everything you just said, men shouldn't go into bathrooms with little girls, like all of it. And there was no finger pointing. There was I kind of disagree with him, but I get it. I get why he's got those things. Now it's like a lynch mob. Yeah. Now it's, how dare you, Neal Larson, be that conservative? That was this election cycle. Yeah. We had an expectation that candidates in close races should debate. And they wouldn't even engage with us. That for us, that's not good behavior to just, what? It doesn't have to be with us, but have an actual legitimate debate. That's a super important part of our process. There are some races when you have maybe an incumbent that's so far ahead, they're not going to debate because they're going to win anyway. And so they're being advised. I don't like that. I think every race deserves a debate if you can have that. But there are more understandable reasons in some races why debates don't happen. So I don't know. Just going back to the original point here, you go through all of this and we're largely left with the same lawmakers that we had before, but now we have divided communities. Now you have the same you don't go back to what you were before. Just because the lawmakers are the same doesn't mean the electorate is the same. Especially when you have so much money and such a robust and toxic stew of social media out there. We're different, and we view our neighbors differently because of what we've gone through, even though the lawmakers stay the same. The incumbency is consistency for the lawmaker, but the process of an election is incredibly fracturing for the electorate. That's what I think is really sad, and I don't know how to fix it, because in a society where we have freedom, we have the freedom to figuratively burn down our communities with heated rhetoric. And I often have said in these races, the surrogates are far worse than the candidates. I've repeated that phrase multiple times. This is one part where I would say the candidates are worse than the surrogates. The candidates are platinum level grudge holders.
Yeah.
We have people in these central committees in East Idaho who are holding grudges from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and they will not let it go. And there's going to be a price to pay. That's the way they feel.
Yeah.
So that's the example that's being shuttled down to everybody else, all the regular voters.
It is so true. And the score, they're keeping score, and they've got to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's kind of where we're at.
It's so true, like drinking Drano. Unhealthy. Yeah. All right, 929, 208-542-1079. All right. Enough of that. We're going to shift gears when we come back. And by the way, if you would like to share your America 250 greeting, just text the word greeting to 208-542-1079. We're going to have a nice big collection of these that we will use to play our part in celebrating the 250th anniversary of these United States of America. Back after this.
Live, local, stimulating talk for East Idaho. The Neal Larson Show on News Talk 1079.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
Just hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call the Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call 208-334-3833.
A new day starts now with the disability information.
All right, guys. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm feeling... Oh, by the way, it's buried now, but let me find it. Hold, please. Somebody said, walking into Sam's right now, 100% probability of hot dog consumption.
That's funny. Okay, look at the third one down. It's back in, the Medicare Spanish. That's the one I just changed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm deleting it. That's it.
Just get rid of it because something's re-triggering it.
Yeah, it is.
Because the people we were worried about aren't even in the building.
Are
the
they
person
not?
that we thought might be doing it.
Okay, so
they're not even here.
It's something in wide orbit that
yeah,
keeps
it's something
reverting
internally.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we check our greetings? Maybe we have another.
I was going to say I feel like I'm on against the clock.
Yeah.
I've got a whole bunch to do up until about 2:15 today. It's going to be bam, 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 bam until 2:15. And that's about when the clouds start to roll in. I feel like I got to get outside and go for a walk or something before we have our rainy weekend.
What? We are going to have a cool and rainy weekend.
We had people send in greeting. Nobody has recorded another one yet?
Not yet. I know something light. We can talk. Oh, we need to do an endorsement. Should we do Windows? Do you have the number?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. All right, 9:34 News Talk 1079. It's the Neal Larson Show. Hey, if you need good windows, and I don't mean good windows, they're pretty good. I mean, like, wow, these windows are going to last a long time. They have a lifetime warranty. They're well constructed. They are beautiful, and they are made locally with the best materials. That's what we mean by good. And that's where Todd and Scott and our friends at Advanced Window Products comes in. They can help you with that.
This is an investment. You're not, dropping $23 at a restaurant and going, wasn't my favorite food. This is an investment. And it can change the value of your home for resale or for your energy bills are going to be better, all of that. So you need the best quality for the money you're going to pay. That's what Advanced Windows promises you. High quality product with a very comparable price.
Yeah.
So if you're going to spend the money anyways, get the best quality.
So Julie's going to have the number here in just a minute, but you make the call, you set up an appointment, they come in, usually takes 45 minutes or maybe an hour, depending on how extensive it is. And then once you decide to proceed, then they'll start the window manufacturing process. That can take a few weeks, but I can tell you they should be done by the time we get to these really hot summer months. Just a few weeks. And also, if you order 10 windows or more, you'll get significant savings. $2,000 at least, maybe $2,500 off. On occasion, it's even more than that.
All right, give them a call today, 208-907-8600. That's 907-8600. Tell them Neal and Julie sent you.
So, Julie, you and I, we graduated the same year in high school, 35 years ago this year. Are you having a class reunion this year?
No.
Okay, so I don't know how it happened, but I became the perpetual class reunion organizer.
It's because you're a Labrador. That's why.
I know it is, because I do I like my class and,
Yes, yeah.
and try to keep in touch with them. And so I reached out to one of my classmates earlier this year, and I'm like, hey, it's 35 years. We're going to do a class reunion. But as we thought about it, and so we're in the process now, it's like 4 weeks away. It's going to be really simple. It's going to be a barbecue on a Friday night, and then we're going to do an ice cream social the next day. At least that's the rough plan right now. But I thought about this. I remember we had a 5-year reunion, which in retrospect seems weird to have a 5-year reunion. Did you have a 5?
We had a 5 and a 20. I think those are there might have been a 10 in there and I didn't go to it, but we've had a 5 and a 20.
I think we've had probably 4 reunions total since we graduated. But my question to you, and I'll throw this to the audience, is in the age of social media, are class reunions a much smaller deal than they used to be? Because you keep track of them, you see the changes in their lives and the big events that are happening in their life. And it used to be class reunions, you'd get together because you didn't know what everyone else was up to and what they were doing. And now I feel like there's less pressure because you're kind of having an ongoing virtual reunion with social media.
All of the time.
Yeah. That being said, I look forward to it, but I feel like it's kind of deflated a little bit what how meaningful class reunions used to be.
Okay, you could actually figure this out. We have a call, so are they still there?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't hang up. But you have a lot better option to actually figure out this data correctly because your class was small.
Yeah.
44?
44, yeah.
So you could figure out who all still knows each other, who has passed and things like that. I had over 300.
Yeah.
So the question you posed talked about social media. Geez, I bet I only see probably 10%, maybe 15% of the people on social media, but you would actually be able to figure that out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm probably on Facebook. I'm probably friends with over half of my class, maybe even 2/3 of my class. So
yeah, it's different. That small. You guys are already all in touch.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go to the phones. Caller, how are you today?
Good. Class reunions. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have participated on and off, but if you do want to get off the perpetual planning committee for class reunion, put your name on the deceased list.
That'll get you out of that.
Yeah.
Permanently. Now, people may misunderstand your meaning behind this, but
gotcha.
Yeah, I had a class of over 400, and it's tough to keep track of everybody, even with all the social media.
Yeah,
and that's because a lot of people don't use social media.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do admire what you're doing for your class. I love you guys' program, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
This is so interesting. They've been having a class reunion for whoever can get there every year.
Every year.
For 40 years. This year, for their 40th, they are going on an Alaskan cruise. I have to ask, how small was your class?
Yeah. That would be tough if you had 500 kids in your class.
Yes, that's the big thing. How small was your class? Then on the completely opposite end of that, someone said class reunions? Yuck. I'm happy to stay away from the class of rhinos.
Oh, I know who this is. I guarantee you they had a small class. Looking at their previous...
Oh, know who's...
Look 3 messages up. It'll tell you exactly where they're from.
Oh, yeah, only 10. They had 10 people in our class. So that's why you can get together every year. Okay.
You know what you need? You need to have like someone who is a Jeff Bezos or an Elon Musk that just takes everybody on a cruise for a class reunion.
He was in your class and can pay for everybody?
Yeah. I mean, I love to tell people what to do with their own money, but I think that's a great Alaskan cruise is a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun. Good for them for going for their 40th. How fun for them.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway. You know what? It isn't that bad. We have a Google document with everyone's name, phone number, email address. Of course, those can change, but it's actually putting that together that first year that we did it, and then updating as you go along makes it pretty simple to reach out.
To keep out in touch with them.
Yeah.
One of our regulars said, where I grew up, class and family reunions are the exact same thing. There were 35 in my graduating class.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. And most of them were cousins. And Neal has really great experience with going to school with most of his cousins.
Julie? We do have to take a break. It's time for the news. So help me. We'll be right back. I don't know why I tell you anything ever.
I'd like to kiss everyone in my class. Oh, no, I'm related to these people.
You serious?
Dead serious.
Let's see if we have any more agreements. No, not yet. I think people have to think about what they want to say.
Yeah, they probably are composing it.
Yeah.
Totally get that. And we'll remind them.
You know what's weird, though? I really like my class, and I think most of my class likes me. But it seems like there's always one or two that, usually for political reasons, they hate me.
Yeah.
And you know what? It comes with my job, I guess. But some cases, it's even people that were my friends in high school that hate that I am conservative, hate that I support Trump, and so I don't know what to do. It's just you can't placate them.
It's just part of our job. I mean, I have said this to people before when we've talked about that I bought a house in 2020 and we remodeled it, put me in a brand new ward after 18 years.
Yeah.
And I have said the phrase something along the lines of, it's really weird to walk into a chapel and know that half the people in there already hate you.
Yeah.
That's a really weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's what comes with this job.
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm. You know what? When I moved into the ward that we both were in, because even then I had my radio show for quite a while. And so people knew who I was. And it was, you sit down in a meeting and, people, you can tell they know you. And, maybe you've introduced yourself a week or two before and whatever. And you just get that vibe and you're like, yeah, they don't like me at all. And then you're like, and I'm going to prove them wrong.
The first time that I went, a gal walked up to me and I'm going to make this very vague. She walked up to me. I won't say anything about her, but she looked at me and she goes, I'm so-and-so. And I just want you to know you have people on your side in this ward, which was so sweet of her. But it just verified out what I've always felt, which means there's also people on the other side.
Right, that's true. What you're really saying is there's those who don't. Yeah. Yeah. I think if there is, we talk about how elections kind of screw us up. I think a job like this develops some really healthy things too, though, because you do reach a point where, and it's not this aggressive, numb, don't give a crap thing, but you do reach a point where you realize their opinions are theirs and they're not any of my business. Even if it's about me, they get to have that opinion and that's fine. And I used to lose sleep over that. Like early on, if somebody didn't like me, and why I'm a nice guy. Like what? And now I don't go through that at all, ever, anymore, at all. It's like, okay, they don't like me. That's just a fact, and I'll go on.
Here's what I would say about that is it's easy to get to the place where you're at and the place where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because I don't attack people personally here. They're the ones who chose to enter politics, which means I get to talk about what you're doing.
True, yeah. All right, we're back. 9:46, Friday, News Talk 1079. We received this, Julie. At Snake River, we have a reunion every year. We call it the Eastern Idaho State Fair. That's perfect. Man, all right. Okay. What's next?
I don't know.
Got anything light, easy to talk about?
Oh, let me think.
While you're talking, I did show Julie the trailer for the Spielberg Disclosure movie coming out in a couple of weeks. And she's like, I'd watch that. Which, by the way, is the most enthusiastic endorsement you will ever get from Julie about a movie.
About a movie.
I'd watch that.
I guess I'll watch that. I guess.
Yes.
That's fine. I'm trying to think if there's anything fun that I saw as I was researching headlines. It's few and far between at this point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to babble? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, in good news for conservatives or Republicans, the L.A. mayoral election is Tuesday.
Yes.
In multiple polls, Spencer Pratt has pulled ahead, and he has outraised Karen Bass, not just a little bit. It's in the millions. He has outraised her. So this next upcoming Tuesday is going to be super interesting.
Is there a runoff in Los Angeles?
Isn't it? I'm just going off of their rules. Isn't it a jungle primary in LA County?
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
And so I think they take the top two, and then those guys go to November.
Okay.
I think. I would have to look it up.
Okay.
California is so wonky. They've got areas where there's ranked choice voting. They've got areas where there's a jungle primary. They've got regular elections in some cities.
Yeah.
It's really hard to keep track of what goes on in California.
Yeah. Do you want a couple of Babylon Bee headlines? It's a picture of Gavin Newsom, and the headline is California passes law making it a crime to report a crime.
That could be real.
Why does that sound like not Babylon? Like that sounds
could
like
be real.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Here's another one. It's a couple looking like they're in distress. Family hit hard by rising costs of necessities like gas, groceries, Netflix, DoorDash, Discount Wine Club, Pie of the Month subscription.
It's so true. I used to help these girls get their student loans through the Department of Education, and they'd come and sit at my desk, and they'd have like a grande coffee in their hand that cost them $8, and they would be like, I don't have any money. I got to take out a bigger loan.
Oh, really? Okay. Gotcha. Google searches for military school skyrocket 10 minutes into summer vacation.
I can't stand these kids.
And then here's one more. Jill Biden explained she thought Joe had a stroke during debate, which is why she left him up there to die. She's been all over the place with this thing.
Because she's pushing a book.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
You mean on her stance?
On her stance on the debate. Like, I don't mean she's in every media outlet. I mean her explanation for Joe, because at first was, you did such a great job. But then in a more recent interview, she was like, I was thinking he had a stroke up there. Like, you're not even consistent with what you're saying here. Mm-hmm. Like, it's...
Well, and why didn't you get him medical help? Did you really? Would you do... Your wife is standing somewhere and you're watching her and you're like, I think she's exhibiting stroke symptoms.
Yeah.
And you just stand back and don't do a single thing? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Look, okay, can we just say the truth here?
Mm-hmm.
At least I'll tell you the way I viewed it, because I was actually, I think, sitting in this chair watching that TV the night of that debate, because we were covering it here. The Joe that I saw was the Joe that I was used to.
Mm-hmm.
That just happened to be a bigger stage, so more people saw it, and the stakes were higher because we were getting close to the election, and the Democrats were trying to figure out the switcheroo. I mean, that was the final catalyst for the switcheroo, was that debate. And so it was no different than the Joe we were watching the months before that. He's had the same mental lapses. He had the same language issues. It was no different. But we pretend it was different, and we're supposed to pretend that it was different. And no, it's just that was the moment the Democrats realized this guy can't be the guy, and we've got to change course here.
It's way too obvious at this point.
Yes, and so Jill sat there probably hoping, I hope the drugs that they juice him up with a couple hours ago, I hope they hold and he can get through this thing. She wasn't panicked for him. She just knew this is Joe now. And sometimes we have to weekend at Bernie him through certain events. And that just didn't work that time.
So remember, directly after the debate, she was in an room where they were having like a celebration party. And she said, "You answered every question." And she was clapping and stuff. That wasn't the only thing he did that night. They went from that event to another event. And I think there were 3. If he was having a stroke, why did you drag him around to events?
She knew he wasn't having a stroke. You're right. Yeah. What a mess.
Well, we didn't dodge just one bullet. We dodged 2. Yeah. We dodged another year or another term, 4 years of Joe Biden, and then we dodged a potential 4 years of Kamala Harris. And we dodged the bullet at Butler.
Yeah.
I don't know how people don't understand this was what was meant to be. You can hate Trump all you want.
Yeah.
This was what was meant to be. The Democrats ran such a horrible 4 years and then a horrible follow-up candidate. And then you failed at your assassination attempt. I don't know how you thought it was going to turn out any differently.
No, I don't either. Well, look, they have built so much of their visual, quote unquote, accomplishment on DEI. So you have all these people that are in positions because they're a certain color or a certain orientation or a certain gender or whatever, not because they're good at the job. And at some point that catches up to you and your house of cards starts to fall apart. And it started to fall apart for them in November of 2024.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that you just can't keep it afloat after a while.
Someone said, "I hate to be argumentative, but I'm not sure I wasn't better off with Joe."
You have got to be kidding me.
You know what? Then here's what I would say to that person. Go to the Democrat Party. Stop texting in here. Go to the Democrat Party and beg them to run better people.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. That's your option at this point.
Yeah. Trump has not delivered on anything.
Because immigration was nothing. Trump savings accounts, nothing. Big, beautiful bill, nothing.
All the peace deals last year.
Nothing.
Okay, that's not even a sustainable
That's
position.
what I'm saying. You're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong sphere.
You
move to the Democrat Party and beg them to run somebody better than Tallarico.
You are drinking the MS Now Kool-Aid right now.
Mm-hmm.
Where did they get that?
I don't know. He's not perfect. There's been things that I'm bothered with. I'm actually frustrated with Iran right now. I'm like, I wish things were happening differently.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
You're being a little extreme there.
I think he's had an incredibly successful year plus. It's just the last couple months have been dicey because of Iran.
Mm-hmm.
But that first year was, were you asleep for 2025? Because that was nothing but accomplishment after accomplishment. You know what they do, Julie? They have very short memories, and they just get mad when they go to the gas pump in the grocery store and they boil down their assessment of the president based on when they fill up their car. I think that's probably, I would bet you, these kinds of texts, 80% of their assessment of Trump has to do with what they're having to pay at the gas pump right now.
Could be. Well, it would match what we have decided about our regional elections, that a lot of people boiled it down to a single issue.
Yeah.
And we've heard that. It's the economy, stupid, right?
Yeah. Getting rid of Maduro? Really?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to break. It's 9:56. We'll be back. We'll wrap it up after this. I've got to... What?
I gotta
scroll back. I got to see the background of this guy's comments.
I was just waiting for the rest.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Sorry.
What you gotta?
I don't know.
You gotta use the bathroom?
We gotta go back on the air. Hold on. All right. The Julie mockery of Neal is thick today. All right. We're going to call it a day and a week. Have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe as you're out there. And Julie and I will be back on Monday morning.
Yeah. See you then.